Welcome back to the News Hub here at WSJ Live. I'm Simon Constable. Legalizing pot is certainly in the air among legislators in New York, but does that mean you'll soon be able to smoke a toke? Not so fast. WSJ's Jacob Gershman is here to explain from WSJ's New York section. Thank you very much for being here.
Hi.
So we've seen Colorado go the whole hog, if you like, into the pot business. New York sort of more putting its toe in, but not even that, maybe just even at the top of its toenail. I mean, it's very small.
Yeah, it's a baby step, a stumbling one, if that. Basically, 20 states have medical marijuana programs. And the way it works in most of them is that they have private parties that are allowed to grow and supply marijuana. And they do this through regulated dispensaries, or they allow patients to cultivate small amounts on their own. In New York, it would be very different. What they're envisioning, if I understand it correctly, is that they would take marijuana from police busts, marijuana from police inventories, and transfer that to 20 hospitals across the state, who would then have patient quality review boards that would handle individual requests from patients and either approve them or disapprove them. Sounds like a pretty unwieldy system, and it's not apparent that it would ever become operational.
And I mean, there are problems with the fact that general legalization of marijuana use in New York would violate federal laws, and that becomes a problem too.
So what they're doing is they would not pass a new law. They would rely on a 33-year-old law that was intended to allow help patients who are suffering from cancer or glaucoma to obtain marijuana through federally approved research programs. And that never got off the ground. So there's, I guess, the way that if they get the marijuana from police inventories and they don't have federal approval, yes, they would be violating the federal law. And that's a big difference when you compare it to what other states are doing, because you would have the state being a pivotal part of the supply chain. In other states, it's private parties that are assuming the risk. Okay,
and that makes it very different. I mean, obviously, the state going against the federal government. Now, where does Governor Andrew Cuomo stand on this? I mean, he seems to be a popular governor, but for the most part in New York. He's not wildly unpopular, certainly. Where does he want to do this? Does he want people to get the rolling papers out and get going?
Well, it's hard to know what's inside his head. He says he's not supportive of legalizing marijuana, not supportive of the type of program that now is happening in Colorado and will soon be in Washington. One of the political issues is that you have a lot of Republicans in the Senate, the upper chamber, and I don't think they're comfortable at the moment with passing a new law, whether it's a retail recreational marijuana law or a medical marijuana law. So I think what he's trying to do is he understands that the majority of New Yorkers support something like this. So I think he wants to say, okay, I'm sympathetic to this position, but he's dealing with the political realities at the moment.
Okay, so unlikely to pass the law and therefore unlikely to pass the spliff. Thank you very much. Jacob Gershman of the Wall Street Journal.